We'll call the city council meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Reese,
Here.
Councilmember Osk,
Here.
Nelson,
Here.
Gardner,
Here.
Hagerly,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Butterfield,
Here.
and Schultes.
Here.
Councilmember Gilbertson is excused. So we have 8 present, 1 excused.
Please stand for the pledge. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
1 second. Councilmember Osk,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Gardner,
Aye.
Hagerly,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
and Schultes.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes.
Motion carries. Next, consent items, I'll call on Vernay Larson, our city clerk.
Mr. Mayor and council members, tonight for approval, I have the city council minutes of July 7th, 2025, the planning commission meeting minutes of July 2nd, 2025, the planning commission meeting minutes of July 16th, 25 as a draft, the Willmar Municipal Utilities Commission minutes of July 14th, 2025, consideration of the sale for THC products for a license holder Coburn's Incorporated doing business as Cashwise, a Pennock Lions Club lawful gambling application, and the accounts payable report from 7/3/25 to 7/16/25. And for your information, tonight I have the director's reports, the finance report, and the Willmar Municipal Utilities financial report from May of 2025.
Mr. Mayor, I would move approval of the consent agenda.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Gardner,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
and Osk.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes.
Motion carries. Next is the open forum. We have one person that has signed up, and Albert. Give us your address, and you got 3 minutes, Albert.
Bear with me here, guys. Yes, good evening, Council and Mayor Doug.
Get up to the mic,
Sure.
Albert.
My name is Alberto Reyes. I reside at 525 16th Street Southwest, apartment number 10. And thanks for the timer. Well, the reason that I'm here, well, if you need me to speak to the microphone, that's fine. The reason I am presenting myself here today is because I made a bunch of promises to a bunch of Willmarans here in town that I'd make some noise along with them. And not only their voice, now I'm gonna rattle my voice a little as well. Due to this stroke, I am able to go for these beautiful walks in this beautiful weather in this town that I was born and raised in. And to my dismay, I just can't believe so much of the stuff that I'm witnessing as I'm walking around. And not only that, when I'm intervening with residents, all the dismay that they also present to me. And I'm not even on the council, and they're bringing a lot of this stuff to my attention, and I think it's time we make some noise. So anyway, this is for you, Linda and Rick. I told you I'd come here and do this, and I am a man of my word. So here I am, along with Franco and Lorenzo and many others. I call in the premises of this stagnant waters. Okay, this is part of my voice in this here. We have Boss Park out in the northwest area here going toward Ridgewater campus. And I'm sure if you go now, there's probably water sitting there already. My concern as a citizen of Willmar is that, are you guys waiting for a toddler to drown to resolve that problem? Is that what it is? You're waiting for some innocent baby just to drown there because you guys didn't act on what you guys pledged to do for the citizens of Willmar? I mean, we're the taxpayers, and you guys are presenting like you guys are the grand authority over us, giving me 3 minutes to speak. Like you're telling me I'm paying your bills and all that, and you're telling me what I got to do. I don't think it works that way. You guys need to start listening to the residents, all right, and start clocking in, because anybody under the city of Willmar payroll needs to get to work, in my opinion. So let's talk about those stagnant waters. All right, that's one of them. The other one would be 16th and Trot Avenue in Minigasco Park. Okay, I don't know what you guys are doing there, but that's Rick and Linda's neighborhood out there, along with Jose Franco on 15th Street. So I don't know, you guys can't answer back, but I would just propose a percolation pond, something. Maybe not at the park itself or anywhere near the children, causing more dangers to them. Maybe somewhere, I don't know. If anybody in the city wants to come talk to me, I got plenty of past experience. Don't let the stroke fool you guys. All right, so I got tons of knowledge in my mind. I used to do so much things anyway. There's Ann in Minnesota Street. Those residents are dealing with, I don't know if our RCPs are backed up or clogged up from winter sand. I don't know. Has anybody resolved that or try to find out why we're having so much water backup? Maybe a diversion, RCPs, structures going somewhere. I don't know. But again, I'm willing to sit down with anybody that wants to talk with me. I can draw up stuff too. I used to be a superintendent I built a $42 million project in Texas. So again, don't let the stroke fool you guys. That's about it, guys, for now. I have a lot to talk about, but due to 5 seconds here, I'm limited. But again, guys, we need to execute, not just be coming here over and over, just talking. I sit here with you guys all the time, and I don't see no resolutions. We're just reiterating over and over and over, and there's no execution. And as a taxpayer, I'm a little fed up myself. So I stick around, guys, but I got better things to do with my time. Thank you, guys.
Albert. Next, we go to consideration of awarding sale of general obligation improvement bonds, and I'll call on our finance director, Tom Odens.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight, for your consideration, we are concluding a process that began in the first meeting back in May at the City Council, which would be the sale of bonds to support the 2025 improvement projects for the City of Willmar. Jake Emiott is a senior consultant with Baker Tilly, who Baker Tilly has guided us through the process, and he is here tonight to walk us through the process that we've gone through and the results from today's bids that were received. He has some good news to share with us as well. So, Jake.
Good evening, Jake.
Good evening, Mayor Reese and members of the council. My name is Jake Emiott. I'm from Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors. You guys have dealt with my colleague Michaela in the past, but I'm filling in tonight to go over the sales results, which was all really good for the city. So kind of start off, the proceeds will be used to finance just various street improvement projects within the city and pay cost issuance on the bonds. The bonds will have a 15-year term. And when we started structuring the bonds in early to mid-June, we were kind of showing a true interest cost or TIC of 4.32%. Kind of our standard practice is about a week before the sale, we like to update the city on how the market's sitting, how we think it's going to price. And we gave them an estimate of 3.81, and ironically today it actually priced at 3.81. So overall, it's a very good sale for the city, and we'll kind of get into some more of the details. So this here in front of you, this is the bid tab, and there's two things I want to point out here. So the top portion under the bidders, there was 4 bids on the sale today, and one thing I really wanted to point out was the spread between those 4 bids. It was about 5 basis points, which is really tight, and it really shows that it was a really good overall competitive sale for today's market. And so yeah, as you can see, Northland Securities is the lowest bid of 3.81%. And then down below, this is just the interest calculations for the bonds for the term. So. So pricing, they did come in with a premium offer, and what a premium offer is when the underwriters pay more than 100% for the principal maturities. And the new par amount now is $4,065,000. It originally was $4,175,000, but we took those additional proceeds that the underwriter bid in, and we downsized the issuance after we're talking with the city. This is what the city has done in the past. And overall, I like to kind of think that par amount is kind of like your principal amount on a mortgage. This is what your interest is calculated off of. So overall, by taking this premium and downsizing the bonds, it overall is less interest cost, as well as it's going to be a less of a levy impact on the city. And this is just an amortization schedule. This is just showing that you'll have interest payments semi-annually on August 1st and February 1st. And then you'll have principal payments on February 1st for 15 years. Starting in 2/1 of 27, so February 1st of 2027, and it'll end on February 1st of 2041. So as you can see on the bottom, this is that par amount. This is your total principal, $4,065,000. You'll have a total interest around 1.6-ish million, and then a total principal and interest of about 5.7 million. So now I kind of want to talk about a part of the bond deal that we think is very important for the city, and this is the rating process. And what a rating is, it's a measure of the city's financial strength and ability to repay debt. The rating agency Moody's, they come in as an independent third party just to assess the city, how they're doing overall financially. And it also is a supplement of investors' due diligence, so investors can look and see if they want to make the investment on the city's bonds. And overall, the stronger the credit rating, the lower the interest cost. So kind of how the process of that, so there was a rating discussion that was held with Moody's Investment, the city staff, and then us at Baker Tilly. And in the beginning, Moody's provides an agenda or a list of questions, and the city staff filled those all out. And then we hopped on a call with the city staff, which we kind of call our rating prep call, to kind of go over those questions and anything to add. What do we think? What's the strategy going into the call? And then the rating call was on June 23rd of this year, where the city staff discussed all the things that the city of Willmar is doing, all the positive impacts you guys are having, and conveyed that story to the rating agency. And then about a week after the call, the Moody's assigned a rating of AA3 to the issue and affirmed that outstanding AA3 on the city's existing GO debt. So this is just kind of a chart of the rating scale, and this is with Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. They're like the three main rating agencies that are out there. The city gets rated by Moody's. And the city is sitting at AA3 right now, which is a very respectable rating in the market. And I just wanted to make that really clear that AA3 is a very respectable rating. And overall, that rating call had a lot of positive feedback from it and a lot of positive discussions with it. So. And then lastly, Moody's provides some comments. I won't go through them all for you, but they kind of just go over some like strengths of the city, some challenges of the city, factors that could lead to an upgrade, factors that could lead to a downgrade, and a few things I just wanted to point out some of the strengths. The city has a very strong financial position, and they really praise the regional economic center for areas around the city of Willmar, and especially the healthcare. I know we talked about quite a bit on that call. So these are just kind of some of the things that they pointed out to us. But again, overall, it was a very positive discussion. Moody's was they're very impressed with what the city has been doing. So yeah, just wanted to kind of make that clear. And city staff did a great job on the call. They kind of ran it. They did a very good job. So lastly, just a recommendation to approve the resolution awarding the $4,065,000 bonds to Northland Securities based on their low bid of 3.81%. And just kind of want to open it up if anybody has any questions.
Questions or motion? Justin?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Just a question about the rating scale there. Do you do any work with Candiota County or just the city for you?
We just work with the city.
Okay. I believe they're rated AA2, and I'm just wondering what makes their rating and their situation different to get that higher rating. Maybe that'd be a question that Director Odens could follow up on if there's not an immediate answer to that tonight?
Yeah, I don't have an immediate answer because rating agencies, they have a scorecard. They have a scorecard that they kind of base a bunch of financials on, factors of the economy. So there's really probably not like a cut and dry answer of this is why they're AA2. But we'd have to dig into that a little bit more on why that is. But we could definitely follow up on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Or motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the bond.
Introduce the resolution.
To introduce a resolution awarding the sale of 4.175 million general obligation bonds.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Discussion. Rick?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. What was the highest rating that Willmar's ever been at? Weren't we at AA2 at one time?
That is also a very good question that I can look into that and get that back to you within the next day or so. Yeah, I'll have to look into to that. But yes, I can get back to you on that.
Because I think the county, they have that 0.5% sales tax for their roads. So that probably helps their rating.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any other questions, discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Gardner.
Aye.
Fagerly.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Butterfield.
Aye.
Shoulders.
Aye.
Oz.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes.
That motion passes. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, next I'll call on Kyle Box, our Director of Operations. Evening, Kyle.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, members of the City Council. Tonight before you is introduction of an ordinance, which is amending ordinance number 1533. That is an ordinance that the council passed this last February, which was an ordinance to regulate cannabis and hemp retail businesses in the city of Willmar. During the 2025 legislative session, there were some changes made to the cannabis law, chapter 342. The ordinance amendments tonight will conform changes made in the 2025 legislative session. Primarily what we'll be looking at in the ordinance are largely administrative changes to the registration and licensing process. Specifically, previously the law was written in a way that the city registration would only occur after an issuance of the state OCM approved or pre-approval licenses. With that law change, now would require cities to proceed with a registration if an application was received before issued by the state. So we're just changing the way the licensing process looks here and then also conforming with the updates that they made at the legislature this year. So again, this is just to introduce the ordinance, call for a public hearing, which would be on August 4th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. and then to publish the ordinance by summary. I'll pause for any questions, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Any questions? Tom?
I know this is going to pertain more to the August 4th meeting, but with Cashwise and school right there, is that going to be in compliance with the city ordinance on how far it has to be away from school and the other programs in there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Councilmember Butterfield. Primarily, the buffer zones would only apply to retail businesses. So think of the full strength, if you will. Cashwise liquor store and then the Cashwise grocery store do not sell. They sell low potency hemp edible or beverage products, which do not outside the purview of the buffer zone, so they can operate within that buffer zone.
Any other questions? Justin?
Would changing the buffer zone also be a part of the amendments to the ordinance?
Something that we thank you, Councilmember Osk. We looked at that and talked it over, and the way it's written now, there is a 1,000-foot buffer zone. We're not recommending any changes tonight. The way the ordinance is written now is a 1,000-foot buffer zone, and the way staff would like to implement that ordinance is door to door. instead of property line to property line, which with the businesses that have inquired with the city, we would exceed that 1,000-foot buffer zone if operating door to door instead of property line to property line. And the reason for that is if reviewing that piece of the ordinance, the way the city administers its liquor ordinances is door to door as well. So just trying to remain consistent on how the city is applying its license types.
Thank you.
Any other discussion, questions, or a motion?
I can make a motion to introduce the ordinance and call for a public hearing on August 4th, 2025 at 6:30 PM.
Second. Okay, moved and seconded, discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Gardner,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Ost,
Aye.
and Nelson.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes.
Motion carries. Next, we need a motion to publish the ordinance by summary.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Fagerly,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Ost,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
and Gardner.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council.
Next is consideration of Gilberto's Number 6, Inc., on sale wine and 3.2 intoxicated liquor license. I'll call on Renee Larson, our city clerk.
I guess I'm just looking for a motion for approval of their liquor license. Gilberto's number 6 wine, they're looking for a 3.2 license and the wine and strong beer license to be served within their premise at their location on First Street. They've had a background check. PD has passed and approved them, and then once approved by council, it'll go to the state for approval. They do have to have a site inspection by the state because they're a new liquor applicant, and that doesn't take place until city council approves or we pass the license on to them. So I'm looking for a motion for approval tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Rick?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Do they still make 3.2 beer?
They do. We are the only state in the country that sells 3.2 beer.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Davis,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Ost,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Gardner,
Aye.
and Fagerly.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes.
That motion passes. Any announcements from the council or from staff? Audrey?
Thank you, Mayor Reese. I just wanted to make sure everybody pays attention. You should be getting this in the mail. I got mine today. And there's a nice article in here on the Willmar Rail project. That it's a 2-page article that was done. Willmar Rail project clears tracks for growth, reduces downtown congestion. And so I'd encourage you to read it. And if you don't get it, you can sign up to get one. So
Awesome. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. All right, anything else? We need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
we be gone.